Oh, the phone just got the notification.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I keep like everybody that be on like the streams and stuff like that. I keep y'all all on notifications to
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I got yours on notification as well. But anyway, welcome. This is our duo live review for The Last of Us Part 2. I am JJ Wilson. Well, on the screen, I'm JJ Starwind. And this is here.
Ash the man, I'm here.
Yeah, so me and Ash, we played The Last of Us Part 2. It started about, we started around the same time. He got finished last night. Actually, I got finished last Sunday, like literally a week ago. But, man, I was busting through this game. And I was telling my last stream, this was like the first time I played past 5 hours on a game ever on my channel. I usually don't play that long, but I just want to hurry up and get past it. So overall, what are my thoughts about this game? Really good game, like gameplay wise, man. Man, some of the
Yeah,
stuff he was pulling off was just crazy.
man, most definitely. I think like one of my favorite things about The Last of Us Part Two, it's just the fact like when you play with like Ellie, you just get like a different play style than Abby. Like that's one of the highlights that I like about it.
Yeah, I feel like with the developers, what they did with Abby is that it forced you to fight humans, it forced you to fight the infected. Whereas with Ellie, you could have the option of both. Like you could fight them like head on, or you can be sneaky. You can be stealth mode the entire time. And
Most
basically, that's what I tried to do the whole game, like be stealthful, but I couldn't really do that with Abby.
right. Right. Abby, she was just like guns blazing and like most of her abilities evolves around you being engaged. Like the instant like melee kill that you get after you get that damage a certain way, you know?
Yeah, and also you can tell with the weapons choice that the developers gave you. Like with Abby, she had more like the assault rifles, and she had the stronger shotguns, and then she had like pipe bombs. Like you got to throw the pipe bombs. Whereas with Ellie, she just had Molotov cocktails, and she had more like the close range knives. Well, with Abby, you had to make shivs to kill clickers with. You couldn't do that with Abby. You had to make the shiv. Whereas with Ellie, she had her trusty knife all the time, so you didn't have to worry about that.
Right. Like it was interesting though. I like it really like the combat and everything really did stand out as like one of the strong points when it comes to The Last of Us Part Two. Like they really did their job. I have no complaints with that.
Exactly. So before we get to my list of the pros and cons of this game, I think we wanted to talk about the pre-release drama of the game and why it caused such a firestorm in the first place.
Well, yeah, that whole situation about the release for this was crazy. Like basically like when we finally got the release date, of course, everybody is raging happy that we finally get this after being teased for so long, and then come and find out it end up like getting the pushback indefinitely, not with no release date. The whole date was just like taken out. Even on the PlayStation Network, they was already messaging a few people, giving them refunds because they didn't know when they was going to release the game. But then turn out somebody leaked, so much of the game. I'm not gonna say it was a full leak because unfortunately, some of the things my boy told me about, and it wasn't like his fault or anything. He just thought that
Mhm.
everybody kind of like read it, but it was a leak. Now at that point, people really wanted that game to fail ever since that happened because there was so much stories that was hitting the internet about like how they was treating their employees, that they was getting paid enough, like they worked enough hours. It was numerous things, and a lot of YouTubers was even talking about, oh well, Naughty Dog really messed up. Naughty Dog really messed up, but that did change a lot of people's minds about getting the game. I mean, unfortunately, it didn't change minds because I'm not going to let the internet tells me what to play. But when it finally did get its release date, yeah, this is where we at now.
Yeah, I felt like. because of the cancel culture being so aggressively anti Naughty Dog, all of a sudden it kind of forced the developers to know that okay, we better bring out this game right now before we really start seeing a backlash, so to speak here.
Right, because you got people that really want this game to fail. It's not even like funny. Like people will saying like the game is terrible, the game is crap. Like man, like that's not the case. You haven't even played it. You only seen what people leak. You haven't seen the whole thing. And I'm glad that I was able to play it without having that biased opinion. Yes, I still have things about the game that I personally, like feel about it and which you guys gonna know about. But unfortunately, I'm not gonna just focus all on Elite to tell me to get the game or not.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, let's holler at some of the people in the chat here. Gene Bane, what's going on? Azrael's here, and Retro Gaming Star. And
Oh,
I think VGL came in before we went live, but it's all good.
oh yeah, what's going on, everybody? Actually, here I need to post a link on the Twitter side real quick. Let me
Oh,
see.
okay, yeah. Do that. But yeah, even with the cancel culture just going hard in the paint against The Last of Us, like not even I think just a week's time, like the game sold 4 million copies.
Oh man. And look, the bad part about it is that's only hard copies and it's only the UK. Like they haven't even counted worldwide sales.
Oh, that was just the UK's numbers. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's not even counting digital, not counting anywhere else. The UK literally they got their numbers in. And I guess that's what one of the reasons why one of the guys from Sony was talking about that, they have to think about like the price of games because of like how much they need to sell to make revenue. And it takes a lot. Like, for a game for them to meet their back end on the game, especially on a AAA game with detailed graphics like that, that's an easily 150 mil, project that they do.
True. Yeah. All right. So while you getting that link in for Twitter, let me set up the screen share.
Oh,
Just
okay.
a moment. Yeah, I want this. All right, that's my crazy looking screen here. It's doing all kinds of stuff. I don't know if you guys can see that. I tried to I tried to bring the whole picture up on my computer, but then I can't see the stream no more. you know, so that's what makes it so hard. Let's see what that looks like now. That look better?
Uh, oh yeah, there you go. That's cool.
Okay, so this is what I decided to do to kind of run down everything about the game. So I did like a pros and cons list. So this is my list for the pros. So first thing I want to go over is the improved graphics in this game, like compared to the last game. Like I mean, you get blown away with some of the scenery that you saw, especially when you went inside Seattle and when you started roaming around. At that moment, it felt like I was playing Uncharted again. You know, the only difference was you wasn't doing parkour stuff. You weren't trying to climb through buildings. You weren't jumping through windows. Well, a little bit, unless you break them, trying to get away from people and infected. But you weren't trying to do all the parkour stuff like I mentioned. And yeah, like the people's reactions when they get angry or when they start crying, things get really intense. Like it looked really good. Like it felt like he was there in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And most definitely, like I think like the graphics kind of like really got detail, especially when you see like dismemberment of body parts. Like I think one of my like when I first got the shotgun with Ellie, I end up like shooting this guy like towards like his like left top shoulder, and
Ooh.
his arm came completely off. Like it was crazy. I was just blown away about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how the way they detailed like how people get injured once they get cut or once they get smacked in the face with a bat or like a plank, a wooden plank. And they laying on the ground dead, all discombobulated. Like, wow, man. Like, yeah, they paid attention to details there. Yep.
Very crazy details and like real. I That's one of the things that I think that Naughty Dog really does when it comes to their games is that the quality in like the littlest detail like really stands out. Like when you first set out to go get revenge. Like you going through that little forest as you and Dina like is riding on a horse, and you can see like the squirrel just climbing up the tree, and like even though that just looked a very little, just look how detailed that is. That's freaking amazing.
And the little bunny rabbits when you go in the woods, the little rabbits running around.
Hey, oh, and then like when you go into those screens where you about to die, like when they show like certain enemies, you could just like see the detail of like the morph like infected. It is crazy.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And that sort of ties in with the second point, the fluid move set. You know, from by when you try to select weapons, and as soon as you get it out, it's there in your hands, and you have to get ready to use it. You can use it right away, and also the melee fights is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, almost as good as Uncharted. You know, as far as like the fluidity of it, but of course with the graphics, it just made it that much better. You know, with
Yeah.
all the gore.
When it comes down when like they transition to The Last of Us as far as like the movements, it feels more natural than you seeing like Nathan Drake like surrounded by like five enemies and he just going around just haymaker and everybody. Not saying that that the game not good when it comes to Uncharted, but I feel like Last of Us kind of like got that real aspect of the game to where they know for a fact if you surrounded by like three enemies and you trying to melee them, you going to get fucked up. Excuse my language.
Yeah, indeed, man. They did a good job, exceptional job at that aspects. So going into number three, the story at times got really intense. Oh, dude, like I know, of course, the moment that we saw Joel die, that right out the bat was crazy. Like, and then just seeing him die in the manner that he did was like, dang, man, that just, that pulled some strings, man.
Man, it was everything leading up to that point to where it was like you just when he ended up in that room and soon as Tommy was like, yeah, this is my brother Joe, everybody fucking heard his turn. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I,
Oh, dude.
it was really like interesting seeing like how they really like capture our like hearts with certain things. Like I didn't like if you had a feeling something was going to happen, but you know that you didn't want to go for it, but you had to. Man, I swear my heart was pounding. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, man. Azra in the chat said it felt like Vinland Saga.
Man, look when my man's Escalade died, bro, oh my god, I was sitting there like he was the man of the show. What the fuck?
Yeah. How you do this to him, man? How?
But I mean, he's a genius though. He thought about everything. He thought about everything he could do at that time,
Yeah.
and he did like the most smart thing that he could have. And I mean, in this sense, when it came down to the events that led up and events that happened afterwards, man, like they know how to piece it. Even if you disagree
Yeah,
with
that's a
certain
better
things,
comparison, Azrael. Thorfinn. That's a better comparison because that dude, that dude looked like he was undefeatable. He really did. Thorfinn, man. I mean, Thor's, not Thorfinn, but Thor's. That's his
yeah.
father. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like we only got to see him just a little bit, but if they had did like a flashback, like showing him like some of the things that he was like famous for,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we would have probably seen more savage things he probably did in his time.
Mm. Yeah, a couple other intense moments was like in some of the fillers with Ellie, especially when she found out the truth about her would have been operation, and when she had to confront Joel about that, she wasn't too happy.
No, she was not. Like when she's sitting there, she would just paste her and listen to that tape recording again.
Yeah.
And you was like, man, I already know she was pissed the fuck off. Like
Ooh, man.
Joe riding up there talking about like Ellie, or where you go? You can't be riding off the middle of the night like that. Oh my god, I'm worried. I'm like, I'm like, Joe, you don't want to talk to this Ellie right now, but fuck it, it happened.
Yeah, it was definitely some tense moments in the story, and that can lead up to our 4 point here. Ellie, man, she grew up. She grew up
Yeah,
becoming this guy. Yep.
yeah, and that's one of the things that I really commend them on when it comes to like the character development of Ellie. She is growing into her own character, even if it's some things is in a bad way. She experienced so much trauma, not just at her age now, but from when she was younger.
Hmm.
And now that she's getting older, she's seeing the world differently. It like you could tell it's taking a toll on her in a certain way. Like honestly, if it was any other human being, I think they would have probably off themselves by now.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, as we mentioned before we went live, like Ellie was like a phantom. Like one part of her was in the living world, and the other part was in the land of death. Like she could have said, "F all this, I'm just gonna end it all right here and there." But nah, the fact that Joel still was there for her whenever she needed him at times, and also the fact that she, eventually she made more friends, staying in Jackson, like with Dima and Jesse. I think it was people like that that just kind of kept her from going totally off, just going nuts.
Yeah, he showed her a life that she didn't want. Like, and she in some ways she really appreciated, but at times she felt like she didn't want it. Like
Yeah.
she's felt like her death should have been that operating table in the first game.
And the crazy part is, Ash, we don't know if those people that operate on her say they did the operation. We don't know if they were actually going to give the vaccine to everybody.
Right. And yeah, and that's the thing too, because I think that's what Joe was kind of realizing. Because if you add like a structure to the weird world to this,
Hmm.
like because we all going through the COVID right now.
Yes.
It takes 7 months to a year for them to come up with a vaccine. That's with testing, understanding the knowledge, and not saying that they didn't probably like break down an infected or anything like that. I mean, it doesn't look like they did because like with the spores going in the air and everything, I couldn't imagine them opening up a body and thinking like nobody's going to get affected there. But
Right, right.
to that extent, it takes so much to create a vaccine and a vaccine that will work. That vaccine could have had a negative effect on people and that could have been affecting them. And there you go, a life lost.
Yeah. So there was no guarantee that even if they had successful operation and they made this vaccine out of Ellie's brain, whether or not they were going to actually distribute it to everyone and save everybody's lives, or even people that were infected recently, like they're at stage one, they're the runner stage, right?
Yeah.
So they were to try to inject them with a tranquilizer of some type that's like a vaccine and get those folks to magically turn back to their normal selves. We don't know if that was really going to work or not, or it's just going to, like you say, make things even worse.
Right. Because I could imagine they try to shoot a goddamn bloater and he just turns into a regular human. Like, bloater's been around for a long time, like
Yeah.
just humans. So it's like them going back to just regular normal. Like, I don't know if that would be possible, but
Again, the bloater phase, like when they get to the bloater stage, it takes at least at the minimum 4 years or 5 years,
hmm
something like that. Yeah, because some of them actually don't make it to bloater stage. Like once they get to clicker, then they end up dying. Like you said, they make those spores and their bodies explode. Like,
like basically they just start growing into this mystery infected tree that just sticks to anything that it wants to.
yeah, it's weird.
Like this, the affection goes down to the science, and I always like thankful that it does. But like, man, like I couldn't imagine that amount of substance coming from the body just to make up that. Like that is really crazy.
Yeah, okay. I see. As in chat says she turned 18, didn't she? Yeah, she's about 18 years old in this game.
Oh yeah, man. If they showing all that, she not 18. Oh my god.
Yeah, because she was only 14 the first game. She was like 13, 14 years old at that time.
Yeah, and when they had the DLC in the first game, man, I felt a little bit weird playing the DLC because, you know, like that's when you found out that Ellie, like the girls instead of guys because of the DLC. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, she's not 18 yet. She just gave like all, that whole kid. And that's when the internet memes came out. Holy shit.
Yeah. Even with the pre-release drama, I would have figured like this can't be the reason why you guys aren't buying the game. Like it was already well established that she was a lesbian.
Yeah. That she was a lesbian. And in some cases, if you look at the story, we could tell that Jesse did have a thing for Ellie, but he kind of like respected her and her sexuality. So yeah, I respect that.
Jesse seemed like he was into all the young chicks.
Man, my man is just, you know what kind of killed me though with his character? He was like, and this has like been going around in like jokes or whatever, like how he's like Asian or whatever, but he got a country accent to the T, and I'm like, yo,
yeah,
I've never seen that before.
He's more American than most Americans.
Right. Azrael said Jesse, aka Luke Kane.
I didn't even see that.
Oh man, Luke Kane with a cowboy hat.
Hey, Jesse is Luke Kane and Aaron Black in a fusion.
Howdy there. Would you like air grill? Oh man. Then that's Kung Lao.
Oh, hey, let me fill some crackers in that wonton soup.
So if Jesse's Luke Kane, and then we can all say that Katana is Dina, then who's Ellie? Jade?
I called her Frost. Real. I called her Frost because we was calling Abby Sonya Blade.
Man, that's Shiva. Fuck that bull. Bruh, like when she was fighting Ellie, she threw her across the room.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, wait, who's Scarlet, Azrael?
Oh my god. That would make sense because Scarlet had that like affectuation about blood, and she was Katana blood. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Abby is D'Vorah.
Oh, well. Actually, I think Mel's D'Vorah.
Oh man,
yeah, because she was pregnant, and D'Vorah always makes babies.
Man. Oh,
but yeah, let's get to the fifth point. Tommy, dog. Tommy did his thing.
You know what? Tommy was the guy. Like Tommy was the man of the hour. And the reason I say that is because he was the man out of all of the guys in there that was killing. And I'm sorry, but Owen, he was boo loving with a man thing. So I don't even count him as a guy. I think he was full on, like gay, because we'll get into that later, but Tommy was the man.
Yeah, man. Tommy was doing it up. A one-man army, guys. As I said, Tommy's Scorpion. Yeah, he was on some Scorpion type ish.
Bruh, and it was crazy because Dina, because everybody seen Tommy as nice. Ellie was like, nah, Tommy and Joe had a dark side to it. They did things. And when they went into that room, the guys was tied to the chair. She was like, who would do this? This Tommy. And she was like, no, it's not. Ellie was like, yes, it is. This is what they did. I'm like, Ellie knows it was Tommy. You damn right that was Tommy.
Yep. They use the same tactics. So what Ash was talking about here is they get two guys in a room and you force one to talk and you beat the crap out of them. And then you get the other guy, you basically taunt him and you embarrass him and you force him to make that same answer. If they come up with the same answer, then it's true. But if one of the guys says something different than what the other guy said, already got his ass kicked, then they both die.
Correct. It's a crazy tactic for them to do so, but it works though because if they both tell them the truth, then you can expect that that what is going to happen next, the enemy plans and stuff. But if they don't say the same thing, then you can expect that either one, the people know that you're there. Secondly, you probably know different aspects of what's going on or different perspective of what they're coming from. The tactic is ingenious actually in the survival world.
Yeah, it truly is. I mean,
What's up, VGL?
yeah, VGL in the building was good. It really is ingenious considering the fact that you're by yourself and you got so many people you can't trust, and then you fighting off these infected that's always migrating into certain areas and stuff. You avoiding them at all costs. Yeah, you had to do what you had to do to survive.
Yeah, and let's not get this about Tommy. He was a sniper to heart, and he's giving these people trouble. Like no matter what tactics they was doing, going around, he is taking people out by himself as a sniper.
Yeah, it was very incredible just seeing him go through Seattle like it was nothing.
Like nothing. There was like just one guy that took out like half of our men. Like what? Y'all let one guy do this? Tommy, the truth. Like
the truth, man.
Like
he is Joel's brother.
Yeah. Because Joe, he went through that whole Firefly building by himself to rescue Ellie. He was dropping people, so man,
I would have loved to play Tommy in The Last of Us. If developers, if I was a developer, I was like, man, we got to get Tommy some action.
I see. At first, I thought on when they first released The Last of Us on the PS3 that they was going to do a DLC with Tommy and Joel to like kind of see them like setting people up, doing some of the harness things, but it never came to light.
Oh yeah, that would have been a nice DLC, or maybe like a prequel, like The Last of Us 3 Brothers.
Right, like Last of Us 3, a little prequel before we figure out what the fuck to do after this.
Oh man. All right, let's get to the next one. Crazy chase scenes, man. Like the one that was pretty wild was I think the part with Ellie and Dina like running through the subway area from an infected, and then like you had to help Dina a little bit because she was we found out she was pregnant, and she was wondering why we had to slow down and everything. This was right after you fought the Shamblers, and this was like a new form of infected. Like I saw the Shamblers, I was like, oh man, these guys must be nasty, and they're nasty guys. If you haven't seen the Shamblers, it's a nasty little things, man.
Yeah, that damage on time can sneak up on you. That's what happened a couple of times with me because I died to a field. It sneaks up on you because you didn't think like the amount of damage does it, but it actually lingers on for I think like a second or two, and you have to, and like their skin gets red too. I'm like, man, that shit is just crazy.
Yeah, it's like an acid poison that they spew out, and it burns you basically.
Right.
It's a type of acid that they're spitting out.
Right. Maybe it's like a reaction to the infected though, like why they spit that body fluids out like that. Cause
right.
We don't like it's a lot of things to this that we don't know. But I'm just just throwing it out there that's what it could be,
Yeah, also the one with Jesse, where you got in the car and you was trying to kill off the wolves, the WLF.
Man,
wow, yeah.
Man, I'm so sorry. And again, and this is not me trying to be prejudiced or anything like that, but why do they have to make that stereotype in the game that Chinese like Asian people cannot drive because he was fucking up? Like I'm sorry. he fucked up a whole truck. I'm like, Jesse, come on, man. He was like, my bad, Ellie. I'm like, oh, he was drunk.
Oh, dude.
But I think one of my favorite chase scenes, and I think Azrael said it, is when they were chasing down Nora. Like that whole scene, like, and she was a straight up like savage for saying that in front of Ellie. She was like, "Do you still have dreams about it? About him, getting beat? Because that punk ass motherfucker deserved it." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that was savage. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, at least she got jacked up in the end, so it was all worth it.
Oh, worth it, man. You chased her down, and she was like, "Wait a minute, that's what it's was." And door down there, and like when she was by that door before Ellie went into her like little madness screen, you could see that the infection, like you could see her veins like really popping out of her skin like that. And for her being a color like that and seeing her veins pop out like that faction plays no games, bro.
Oh no, it's nasty, man. Oh, Agile said Abby and Lev running in the fire village. Yeah, that was pretty intense too.
Man, that had me on edge. I was like running out of ammo. Like, man, I was like, you know what? At first, I was thinking that. Then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute. She got arms. What I'm scared of.
Oh wow.
She-Hulk out here trying to save the world.
Woo, yeah, and see that scene that he talked about that leads up to the last point in the game. I was really impressed with the boss fights. Yeah, that one boss fight after you get out of the chaos between the scars and the wolves, you fight this big giant black dude with an axe.
Man,
that guy was tough. Holy crap, man!
Man, like he was angry, man. Like he like I don't know, like somebody took his food or something before this fight happened, but he was
I think he took some drugs, man, because you cut his lip, you cut his mouth, you scarred him. He had the Joker smile, and he was still fighting you.
Hey man, that's why I think the fight got real, man, because he got his mouth cut and he got like an extra hit that he knocked the shit out of me. I'm like, yo, like chill.
As I said, Candyman.
And you know what? That when you say decent boss fights, that brings it to light that unlike that Abby did have like some of the like crazy boss fights, and like when she had to face what they call that the Rat King, she was facing that monstrosity. Oh my god!
Yeah, I didn't know it was even called the Rat King until like I had to look it up recently.
Man. What was crazy is that I tried to melee it and like it just killed me instantly. Like you seen it like snap her neck back and about to whip her. Oh my god.
Yeah, it did that to me in the beginning because I was trying to get away from it. And this was like before you had to open that room with the axe and stuff. I was trying to get away from it, and I got cornered, and then it grabbed me and it broke my neck, like you said. Like, dang, man, you can't get close to that thing at all.
No, not at all. And like I put like shotgun shells into it. I threw like some pipe bombs, incendiary rounds. Man, it got what it was like. It got the whole like 9 yards. I'm going to put every ammo into you and worry about everything afterwards.
Yeah, then it had this clickerish looking thing come out of it, and then you had to mess him up.
Thing had durability because when you get to that little room and you fight it, I'm like, man, I swear I didn't slap this thing a couple of times and put bullets in it. Yeah. And then I think one of my like last 5 bullets, I put it in his head and it finally went down. I'm like, thank God, because I wouldn't know what the fuck to do after this.
Yeah. Luckily, I had like a few shotgun shells and also the silencer pistol. I was able to get it.
Right, most definitely. But for the most part, like with the pros, like the pros really did stood out in the game. It really made it like you really wasn't like it really made the game like enjoyable for what it was. Like most definitely.
Yeah, so with that said, let's go to the cons.
Oh,
I got quite a bit of cons. Dang. Yeah, the first one was obvious for me. The glitches, oh my gosh. The most infamous glitch, it's on my channel. It was a scene when we went to the Saravina Hotel. And we approached, like it was a room full of runners. So in the lobby, we go up in there. And I'm about to approach this one runner. I was gonna like maybe stealth kill, luckily, or maybe just shoot him in the head. Next thing you know, this thing just pulled an Akuma and just went whoosh. It just faded. It faded back. Like it just portal. It did like a double image after effect. It just went back to where the rest of the runs were, and then they started chasing me.
Oh man!
What the hell?
Hey, I showed that video to a couple of the people that I be playing online with, and it was like, "Yo," they was like laughing like the whole time. Like, how the hell do they have a glitch like that in there? And one of my boys named Juan, when he was playing the game, it was the part where Ellie and Dina was like doing little like route or whatever, and you had to go up the wall with Ellie. For some reason, he ended up under stairs. Not sure how, and it was like black and white, and he could not get away from there. He had to restart for the last checkpoint, in which he lost some coverage in his gameplay. But man, I'm like, yo, the
Yeah,
glitches.
but yeah, that was the most glaring glitch. I think I remember a kind of another glitch where I shot this lady, this scar twice in the back and maybe once in the neck, and she was still up. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be dead already?
Man, at times they be trying to be realistic with like some of the like the after effects of a gun, but like I shot somebody with a shotgun close range and no dismember. I'm like, yo, that leg was supposed to come off. Like,
Yeah. uh, yeah, and so that will lead us to the next point, the whole character of Abby. Why don't we start it with the physical features? Like, okay, am I supposed to believe this girl, like, what, 17, 18 years old, and she's already got a muscular body stronger than most grown men?
right, her arms was humongous. I'm sitting there like, yo, when she took that jacket off, and you see her arms like in a little like long like sleeve shirt. I'm sitting like, wait a minute, what the fuck is she lifting up? What kind of
Yeah,
protein shakes is you taking, lady?
I didn't understand it at all, man. Like, you put her, yeah, that's her in the chat saying Ronda Rousey. If you put her like in the octagon ring, she's automatically like one of the most cut girls in there.
She's the biggest person, like least with like Ronda Rousey or whatever. Like in a way, she's still kind of like eye candy in a way. Like it's weird. She's still kind of like eye candy. Abby was no type of eye candy. Even when the little moment between her and Owen, I was disturbed. I looked at her body. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, some countries actually cut that scene off. I know I read that about Japan. They just got rid of the scene completely. It was like, what the heck is this?
This is a man having sex with a gorilla. Now when you see Ellie and Dina, it's like, hey, little girl,
Oh, okay, yeah. Kodak moment, Kodak moment.
touch a tit, touch a tit. But nah, you see this, you be like, no, just stop.
Yeah, man. Owen, God dog, it made me wonder about his sexuality.
Man, he look between him and Abby, he was the chick. Like she threw him to the wall. She no, she threw him into the wall. Let's be frank. Like when that little scene came and he got in her face and he pushed her, she pushed him. He hit the wall and she held him against the wall against his will. Like,
Yeah,
no,
but that leads me to my next point. Some of the stuff she was pulling off in this game, and I'm thinking, how is she doing this?
talking
Especially
about
when they tried to play with when she was with Liv and she had to climb that bridge and she's talking about she's afraid of heights. And I'm thinking, ain't no way you was doing all that.
like I don't know. Like the thing they put Abby into is very questionable, and it really takes away from what they actually were trying to do with the game.
Yeah,
If you had asked me, Abby playthrough should have never been there.
I agree.
Like her whole playthrough contradicts a lot of things that goes on with the game.
Hmm.
It it goes down like really tough. Like if you think about it, Abby is the person who killed a beloved character. Like again, Joe Death is still like me just thinking about it still hits at home. Like I was a Joe fan. Like
Yeah.
and Abby like not just murdered him, she tortured him, beat the shit out of him with a golf club. You seen some of his head meat on that golf club on there. That's how long she was down there hitting him with that shit. Like, no. And then you trying to give us a gameplay to make her seem like she's good? Nah,
Yeah.
fam.
Like with me, if you're gonna establish her as the antagonist, as the bad villain, keep it that way. Not try to make a whole nother segment of Abby, like, oh, see her side of the story. See, she's not as terrible as people were making her out to be, right?
Right.
Yeah, so if you're gonna establish her as the villain, just keep it that way. We didn't have to necessarily go through all these fillers and go through all this extra drama just to see that oh she's not as awful as people claim. Well, I mean that's into interpretation, but I think there could have been other things they could have did with that whole part with Abby playing there to try to prolong the game. You see what I'm saying?
Right. All that time that they wasted on the whole Abby playthrough, we could have got more with Ellie. Like we could have dealt with
Yes.
Ellie anxiety, her depression. We could have tried to work through all of that and still like it would have made the game a lot better because Abby just like she's everything that I don't want in a character. I'm sorry. Um
Yeah. So really, the game should have been like mostly Ellie, maybe about 80% Ellie, a little bit of Tommy, and even some Joel. So that way we can send them off right.
right.
Yep. I think
But
that's how it should have went, but that's just me. And yeah, that also ties into the third point. Creators tried to make Ellie bad. They actually tried to make this girl look like she was really, really bitchy. And she had her moments. We're not gonna lie. I know that the latter part of the game where she insulted that dude because she got scared off by Flicker, called him a bitch, basically, a punk. And then the fight, the time, like we said earlier in the stream, where she got after Joel about about her operation. Yeah, there were moments where she didn't look her best, and that's understandable. Nobody's perfect. But yeah, they seem to really go out their way to try to make Ellie look like she was just as awful and corrupt as Abby, right?
right. And that didn't sit well with me either because like if you gonna do that, she should have had way more screen time than she did. Like if you wanted to show a bad side to Ellie, then again, Abby's part should have never existed. You should have got to see like, some of the things she fought with Joe about that she disagreed with Joe about and probably even disagreed with Tommy with Dina, Jesse. They had
Yeah,
their conflicts. If you wanted to pull that off again, Abby stuff should have never been there because it takes away from the impact of what they could have did with with Ellie.
yeah. I remember one of the filler arcs. She even tried Ellie. She demanded that, hey, I don't really need these guys' help. I can do these patrols all by myself because she's been through all kinds of crap, with this infected, and she knows how to take out a whole room by herself full of infected. So there were times where she felt like she could do everything by herself.
Yeah. And I mean she in a time you probably will feel like that because you done made it from hell and back, but man, like, you good on one day, but you're not very good on the next day. Like
True.
it's like that. But I mean, again, if they wanted to tell us that, you shouldn't have Abby's story there. Like, if you're gonna have Abby's story there, then like Ellie better be the angel in my shadow. Like, she better be making sure that she keep my prayers in her best, interest, not not no other way around it.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And so going on to my fourth con, the character of Mel. Okay, this is what made me not like Mel. This woman is pregnant. This well established in the game. She has a baby. Like they said that in the beginning of the game. So we're playing in the mission with Abby, where she encounters Manny, and they're about to go to I forget the base's name. It's basically like across town. So they leave their base to go to this other base at the hospital, kind of. And so Mel tags along. They say she's medically cleared to go, but she's got this big belly with a baby. How's she medically cleared to go? What? I scratch my head at this. Like, really? Y'all gonna let her go and she's like what 7, 8 months pregnant or something? And then there's this one scene where they got stuck inside the this warehouse. It's like a sailboat, and they had to get across the door because it got locked because Abby broke the crank. And Mel, she was walking past. She was getting on ladders and she's walking over the beams like it was nothing with a pregnant child. I'm like, this can't be real.
Yeah. Like it's certain things that I know some females is able to do. Like one of my sisters, she worked through like almost to the end of her pregnancy because like she's a shift supervisor at Checkers, and she literally like stands her feet all day, and she did that up until like the very last month. But not everybody is like that. And then she's definitely not climbing up no ladders, going on over top of a building, climbing down a ladder, having the perfect balance. Like no, like let's.
Heck no.
And then I'm not sure but why, but they just had to add a conflict where it seems like they was trying to make Abby look good because of how Mel felt towards her. I didn't like that aspect either. Like it
Oh
just
yeah, good point. Yeah, good
it
point.
it did not make it like, especially when they was at their aquarium and she was talking about, oh yeah, me Owen going, but if you come, I'm not going. You know, try to make her seem like, okay, well, you worked this playthrough with Ellie to, not Ellie, Abby, and she should be able to go, but Mel doesn't want her. Like you, Mel whole purpose in this thing is to benefit and make us believe that Abby has a soft spot now.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly.
And then it was like we like you didn't have to, like, honestly, you really didn't have to make Ellie, do what she did. Like that right there, like it was a moment, but I just
Well, to be honest with you, man, a part of me was kind of glad Ellie killed Mel just because of how she was acting and just being. To me, it felt like she was just irresponsible. Because how about she not only during the mission she's shooting at people while pregnant? You know, you're putting your child's life in danger here. Don't you understand this? And she's supposed to be a doctor. She should know that better than anybody because she's there to save lives, right? We should be putting doctors out in the front lines and trying to sacrifice themselves on the betterment of the Federation, right?
right. That is true. That is true. You did That's a valid point right there. Like, she's a doctor and she could medical clear herself. So whoever says
Yeah,
she's medically cleared, like, they need to go bite one because she's a doctor. Like, no, like,
she's
man,
the person. She's the person responsible for repairing Yara's arm. Well, or she had still had to cut it off, but she sewed it back together. You know, like the whole time she should have just been laying in the cut and just waiting for an opportunity to do her job. At that point, with Yara, getting saved by Abby, and instead, she's trying to do that plus be a soldier. I'm thinking, why?
yeah, right,
As was talking about, that's why she's Bulma.
man. We all can't have, an angel take a baby out of our womb, and so you don't go through the whole contraction. Oh man, Dragon Ball. But yeah, Mel, like, again, to me, I think she was just there to show off Abby's like good and righteous side, or to try to make her seem better. To me, it didn't work because at the end of the day, like, her story should have never been there, and that would include her not being able to see Mel.
Yeah, they still didn't like each other because during that last encounter, Mel pretty much cussed her out. And she's like, "You are not a good person. I don't want to be around you." No, that type of thing. You gotta see that dialogue. That was intense too.
Man, I'm pretty sure she probably came in here and was like, "This smells like two man sweats." Give me that bullshit. Like, oh, she knows that he hit the whole like skins of that guy that we playing with.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and now to go to my, what is it? My fifth point. Yeah, we kind of touched on this earlier with Tommy. Yeah, we should have had a segment where we played Tommy as a one man wrecking crew, messing up wolves and scars alike, infected. Should
Tommy,
have been up in there. We should have went to town.
I wanted to play with that goddamn sniper again. We only had time to really touch it, like, very so few. And like, I want to been able to go through Tommy's eyes and murder Manny myself. Not the NPC doing it as I'm trying to help Manny. I want to go against him and kill Manny myself. Like,
Yeah, we couldn't get Abby. Yeah, we had to get her friend.
right, like because after she killed Joe, he spit on his body. That's disrespectful. Manny should have died. Like, and I wanted to be never the one to do it. It's,
True that. Yeah.
Naughty Dog, I don't know what y'all was thinking with that, man. Y'all missed the opportunity of the lifetime to let me kill Manny. About to write these fools a letter and tell them, like, look, next time let me come up there and tell y'all how to do this. Like,
Yeah, and that ties into the next point. We should have had a segment to where we got to play as Joel once more, before he got killed.
man, he was the perfect NPC, man. The best NPC ever.
By far, man, he helped me kill the bloater.
Helped you kill a bloater. He gave you a vice. Like, you know, he showed me how to play a guitar. Like,
Yep.
man, like he's the best NPC, and we didn't get a chance to play with him just riding on a horse. Like, what is we
Yeah.
do? Like, nah. Like, let me get Joe with that 2x4 and put some weight on some people like I did on the first one.
Yeah, I should have touched on this earlier. Like, there were too many filler arcs in there too, in my opinion. I think like it was kind of dragged out a little bit. Now, some more important just to tie some loose ends, but I think it was a bunch of filler arcs that just, they should have got shortened, or they should have been more direct.
I think they should have been. I think it's both. I think they should have been more direct and shortened um, because I didn't mind the flashbacks with Ellie, but they definitely could have been shorter because the length of them was crazy, especially with the whole Ellie's birthday. Man, that one was long as
Oh
God knows long. Like
yeah,
they could have shortened that up. You could have just went there, did what you did, she had fun, and that's it. We didn't have to do nothing else. We
yeah.
couldn't.
We had to go across a building to get her lost in the darkness to get run over by some big giant razorback.
Right. That you couldn't even like find and cook. By the way, like let's like no like nah. I wasn't like it's kind of a biased thing with me when it comes to those flashbacks. The only ones I didn't really enjoy was Abby because if you think about it, like the whole like flashbacks that they was having,
Mhm.
Abby had the same one about 3 or 4 times. I did not want to go back into the Firefly Hospital again unless I want to choke the mess out of somebody. Like for real.
That's exactly it. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. It was the overkill that it's like we
They,
seen it one time, we didn't need to see it three more times.
like we know her dad died and all that stuff. Like if I was gonna be back there, at least let me play as Joe again because I would have gladly be her father facing for him. Like piece of shit. Like
Yeah, this leads into number 7. The LGBT reference in this game was rather excessive, don't you think?
yeah, like it kind of like helped me like when you had that little like time that passed and Ellie and them in the house and Ellie is making the moves on like Dina. I'm like, yo, like that's how the element, but okay, like we want to dance up on her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She was like, you could tell me when to stop at any time. I'm like, yo, that is what we do with our women.
Well, Azrael made a good point. It would seem like there were more female soldiers than male soldiers.
Yeah, you know what? That actually makes things because I only could remember like the voices of the female soldiers. Like, oh my god, it's Abby. Oh my god, is it?
Yeah, I noticed that too when playing throughout this game. Like, okay, I can understand over time the male population has been decimated because of the infected, and maybe they were more vulnerable to that infection than women. But to have a lot of women just get killed off by other women, isn't that counterproductive to the whole LGBT feminist agenda?
Yeah, and see, I hate touching bases on that because
Yeah,
when it comes to the LGBT, like it's parts that I do agree with, other parts that I don't. And the parts that I don't is like the whole like expected to get treated a certain way because of your gender, but then don't want to get treated a certain way because of your gender. And those two things are definitely different. And I'm not going to touch bases on it too much. Don't want to hate and don't feel like going through the details with that. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but however, you've seen a lot of females get killed in here. Like, I mean, yo, I didn't shot a lot of women in here. I felt like I was doing the wrong thing. Like
But
like
at the same time, should we feel sorry for them because they knew the job was dangerous before they took it?
at first
See?
it was like, man, why I'm killing all these women? But then at the same time, I'm like, they got guns, they got swords.
They're trying to kill me.
They got hammers. Like, no, hey, I'm
They getting jacked up. Yeah, don't get in my way.
look. If it ever came down to a real life scenario where, like, I had to be forced or like to defend myself because of the fact that it's like life or death against a woman, man. Look, I will pistol whip the crap out of somebody. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was over the top in my opinion. Honestly, I can kind of see why the backlash was there because like, man, all this stuff is taking over the games, the gayness and everything. I could see it, but I don't think it took too much away from the story. It's just it was a little over the top. That's my biggest problem with it.
Yeah. Well, and again, when it comes to the LGBT, like in a women's standpoint, it like that stuff like have been like kind of like taken over a little bit, not just only in gaming, but TV shows, period. I mean, if you ask me, like the Legend of Korra, and then that was a little bit, like over the top too, but that's just my opinion. That ain't saying that that's facts, but
yeah. And so this ties into one of the last cons here. Just make Lev a boy. Like the backstory of Lev had me scratching my head so bad. Okay, because when I was playing through it, I'm thinking, okay, this is a boy because he's got a shaved head. He's walking around. He's acting like Aang from Avatar.
Honestly, what I was thinking when I seen Lev, because like that kind of like look that they gave, I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was a boy. And I like the boys because the way that they make the scars out to be like this crazy religious cult or whatever, and they go back into old times. So what is the reason why they want to kill Lev? I was thinking like, okay, that boy got a shaved head, shoot arrows. I'm thinking like he must like other boys. He must have been caught kissing other boys. Oh no, that's a girl that shaved her head. What?
Yeah. And then the killer they were trying to marry her off. And okay, so Lev's sister Yara was a soldier. They didn't make Lev a soldier. They wanted her to be more like a midwife, like somebody that wanted to marry off within the clan. They were trying to marry him off to a grown man, and she didn't want that, and so she shaved her head, and that's what got in trouble.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. It was weird. I honestly like her sister stories did sound tragic, but Lev part just really didn't make too much sense. I was feeling more for her sister than anything, especially especially what happened to her. But Lev, again, that's just somebody there just so that they can make Abby seem like
good. Yep.
Yeah, and this I didn't want that. I did not want that.
Yeah, I didn't dislike Lev. It came across as kind of a cool character, even though it's kind of like a ripoff, like I said, a ripoff of Aang and something straight out of a kung fu movie.
Azro said a Tashima podcast coming up. Hey, look, I may just do one on my stuff this time around.
Hey, like, careful what you wish for.
Yeah, because but Lev, Lev should have stayed a boy. They should have just like, but again, it goes back into like again with the whole Abby thing. Abby should have never had a playthrough. She should have never had a storyline, and we would have never got this issue with Lev. Like I'm just saying the facts. Like if we never got the Abby playthrough, we would have never got Lev, and I would have been happy with that too.
Yeah, that's once again, it's another character we're not related to. We don't know much about. But of course, the first game they didn't talk much about the Fireflies or the WLF or the Seraphites. They didn't talk about any of these groups.
Yeah. Yes, they really didn't dive into the groups like that. We just know that there was like lone survivors, there was Fireflies, then it was like the government at the time that was trying to still bring order to the world, and it was kind of like a three-way shootout. And now traveling to other parts, you're seeing scars, you're seeing malicious group wolves and stuff like that. It's I can say that part is interesting, but I just didn't like Abby's part again.
Yeah, so this will tie into the last point. why did you think Naughty Dog make Abby and Ellie fight twice?
Mm,
So my rationale for that would be, I think because of the backlash that they got months ahead, it seemed like, I don't know if this is true or not, but it seemed like the first time they encountered, that should have been it right there. But then I guess with the backlash and everything, since we're gonna go ahead and have Abby play through anyway, we're gonna go ahead and make them fight again, only for them to spare each other again. So I'm thinking like the whole with them fighting more than one time was kind of productive because nobody died.
nobody died. She just ended up like technically, if she never would have came there to save Abby, Abby would have died. Abby would have died of her own. Trying to go off of what Owen was trying to do. If Ellie did not step in, we would have got the death without knowing her death. And I think they could have went into the second game with introducing like a whole different aspect. With if that would have been the case, leaving it off at the farm, she ended up leaving and stuff like that. They could have had the greatest setup, but they didn't.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Because
yeah, they just kind of dropped the ball on that end. I figured like at the first time they fought, Ellie probably could have died. This is what I said before we started the stream. You could have gave the player a chance to play either Ellie or Abby. You could have had alternate endings. You could have had Ellie kill Abby, and then you could have had that scene with her and Dima living happily in the sunset. Or you could have had Abby kill Ellie, and then she probably had to kill Dima first, and then she would have to tell Lev the hard truth about life and everything, and we need to keep going, or else somebody else is going to come after her and stuff. Something ridiculous like that. But yeah, they could have had all sorts of leeway with that.
well, Azrael, he brought up a point too. He just said that Ellie ended up realizing revenge isn't the answer. And I mean, that could be like that could be something that they was trying to make us feel. But this is the thing. Like, if you look at the trauma that Ellie had up until that last part, she couldn't sleep at night. And the first time we seen her having her moments and stuff like that was one of many. So in this case, I mean, it just didn't make any sense. She's going there to give herself the release that she needs, and that's
Hmm.
killing Abby. Like, but she let her go. Like, she let her go, and what was it for? For her to end up without Dina, without the baby, without Tommy's approval. She basically
Basically, yeah. Let me finish. Basically, Ellie lost a lot of people coming up, man. She lost her first girlfriend. She lost her parents. She lost, yeah, including her mom. I think she remembers her mother. She lost that. She lost. What did she lose? I think she lost. I'm trying to remember in the first game. We know she lost Riley. She didn't lose too many people in the first game, but of course, the second game, she lost a lot more people, right?
right,
So it didn't make sense for her to let go of somebody that killed the most important person in her life,
they gave her life purpose.
that gave her life purpose, gave it some type of meaning to keep her from, offing herself, right?
Right. And I don't know. I that ending like I was saying before we like went live or whatever. I was saying like I just didn't feel like that was the like that should have been the ending. Like, I mean, you're gonna disagree with a story.
Mm.
You're never gonna always be 100% with it. But in this case, the flaw that's in the story is just like it wasn't the impact into an ending for part two. Like, it wasn't impactful. I feel like she lost everyone. How's she gonna go into this again? What, like, still trying to look for Abby? Like, because I'm be honest with you. In the third game, if it shows her still trying to find Abby,
No, they can't do that, man. That wouldn't make too much sense at all. Why would you try to go out of your way to have Ellie find Abby for a third time? Well, a second time actually, a second time, only to spare her again.
yeah, like because the first time, because like technically Ellie and Tommy got spared the first time. The second time they got spared again, and the third time she could have killed her, but she spared Abby. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
god. And you know what's so crazy is that you would think that that she could look even like more like a man, but like in the last part when she got a haircut, she looked skinny. She looked more like a dude more. I'm like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, like she lost a lot of her muscularity because they were starving her basically, and they were beating up on her. In worst case scenario, probably raping her. You know, and
Right.
I mean those guys were pretty nasty. I think they were called the Rattlers. The final part of the game, we had to kill them off to get Abby. Yeah,
Right.
they really tortured that girl, man, big time.
Yeah, you see her skin. It was like she was getting like a very bad burn. And I'm
Yeah.
like, if you was to kill her now, I would not be upset. Like just like, let's get it on. When you was about streaming it today, I was ready, like all hard to kill Abby. Like, let's go. Give me the knife. Like, you know what? Let me get in that universe. I get the knife. I kill her.
Oh man. Oh dude, like I guess if they decide to do a third game of this, that was a baby. If they decide to do a third game of this, I got a bad feeling they're gonna have us play Abby again.
If we have to play Abby again, oh God, like I'm going to personally write them a letter.
Yeah, because at this point, by the end of the game, she goes off to Catalina Island, which is an island off the coast of California. It's not too far from LA. So that's where goes off to after being spared by Ellie. So there is a possibility they could take it there, or get back to Ellie again, where she's all by her lonesome, unless she encounters somebody else just as badass as her, or maybe somebody else that's immune. That's something else that's unclear. That we don't know if there's anybody in the world that's immune to the infected virus like Ellie. Just like we don't know if there's another doctor that could make a vaccine like Abby's father, Mr. Anderson.
It'd be crazy if Leave is the other person who's immune.
Who?
Lily.
Oh, Lev. Okay, yeah.
Only
Wow.
reason, only reason that I say that is because you remember when you had to go get the mask with Abby, and she said, "I never used the mask before."
Right.
So
That's a nice little clue there. Even though Abby had to tell him to step back to keep from breathing those spores, and then she got the mask for her to put it on. So yeah, I do remember that line too. Now that I think about it, dang, wouldn't that be wild?
yeah, that'd be wild. Like, and then that could be their way of kind of like killing off Ellie, in some sense. Like, kill off Ellie, kill off Abby, and let Leave be like the savior that they need.
Right. Azrael said, because Tommy's still alive doing stuff. Well, Tommy is crippled at this point, man. Because if you remember in the game, he had a messed up leg and he was blind in one eye. There's not much the guy can do now. Developers pretty much immobilized Tommy.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Tommy was too OP.
Yeah.
Technically, the only reason that Abby was able to push him into the ocean was because the sister was able to give him a distraction at that moment, because he would have killed Abby right then and there. Like,
yeah.
I mean, again, I was not used to seeing Tommy that aggressive, but once I did, I'm like, yo, Tommy, get her. Like, get her.
Yeah, that's something that needs to be pointed out. So if they tried to play the game as Tommy, like he better get recuperated real quick and in a hurry. But that's assuming that the town of Jackson is not in any kind of danger, because that's where he's at. But we got a few people watching it. Anybody have any questions and everything before we wrap this up?
So, JJ, what do you rate the game, like out of a 1 to 10? What do you rate it?
Oh, okay. Action wise, I'll give this a solid 9. Story wise, I had to give it like a 7. So I guess if you were like to combine them scores, it'd probably be anywhere from like a 8 probably to 8.5 maybe.
That's real 7.5.
A 5?
Yeah.
Oh, for the overall experience?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah, I'm being generous, by the way.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 7.5 because
7.5.
yeah, and I think I would break it down into this like story wise could have been definitely better. Like
Yes.
so story is where they lose out on just about every points. Like I mean the whole like 7.5 is coming from the story, like being honest.
Yeah.
Game mechanics was they had glitches, but like I don't think like the glitches stood out like that much to where it caused like a problem in proceeding in the game. It happens. So you just take it with a grain of salt. So I'm not gonna like take away anything from with that.
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing with that. I mean, that's the
So
one thing that kept me from giving this game like a 8.5 or a 9 was the story and the apparent glitches.
yeah. So and then like if you like because the mechanics was good. Like I think this is probably like one of the only games that you can go in there, change the difficulty, and customize the difficulty to the way that you want it, to where you could like reduce resources, make it harder to sneak around. They really did that sentence like really good, and I think like it should be known that Naughty Dog really went to their ways of making that an actual thing. Um,
Hmm. Yep.
graphics was amazing. You like them cut scenes and them back like them flashbacks was good. It was really good.
Oh yeah, it was very fluid. At times, it felt like he was in there with those people, saying the stuff that they were saying. And then, of course, the melee action, like I mentioned earlier, was crazy.
Oh yeah. And then the sound, like the music, I thought the music was really well. It hit every moment that it needs to, especially when at parts it was like really like dark. That music really like took it to another level. Like honestly, so
Yeah.
I think in this case a 7.5 is it's a proper like it's my proper score given. I'm not gonna say it should be everybody's score. Everybody's gonna rate it differently,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think 7.5 it 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 does it justice. Like that's not giving it like it's a bad game or anything like that. It's just that like it's a good game with some issues.
Yep. Yep. People in the chat, VGL said the story. So the gameplay was amazing, but the story was iffy. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, to sum it up, that's pretty much what it is. I'm not even
Yep.
going to tell you like that. And yeah, no, IGN like I don't know. I haven't like look. I haven't looked at an IGN review ever since they did 3 reviews, and I
They didn't
wouldn't.
even give they didn't give my game Neo a 10 out of 10. They gave the shit a 9.5. I'm like, y'all wrong for that.
Man, look. I don't know if you remember this Capcom game called Remember Me, but it was on the PS3. The game, like, they gave it a 4 out of 10. Like, giving it
Wow.
some, like, but then when it came on PlayStation Plus, and I actually played it, the game was good. Like, I love it. I even purchased it on the Steam because it went on sale, and I'm like, wait a minute, they got this on Steam. Purchased it again. The game was good. Like, and then you remember they did the review for the order. The
Oh yeah, the Order 1886.
Yeah, they gave like one of the things that they said that they didn't like about the order that it didn't have a multiplayer. That's one of the things that they did not like about it. But then, but then turn around and look at this GTA 5. If you remember when the GTA 5 first released on the PS3,
Hmm.
the multiplayer for about 1 or 2 months, you couldn't save your character at all. The character saving was not happening. So they had to release an update. Back then, the update it took a few weeks for one to get out. Excuse me, but they gave it a 10 out of 10, even with a faulty online. So no, I don't look at IGN reviews anymore because of that. Like, and then and then of course, if you know about the whole thing with old boy ripping off like one a YouTuber review for it, I definitely don't watch their reviews no more.
Yeah, IGN is pretty much as flawed as anything out there. It's
Yeah,
almost like looking at the legacy media. when trying to look into politics. So that's how bad that is.
Yeah, like I remember I had a buddy that was like, "Hey man, IGN gave it this, all of that." I was like, "I mean, yeah, keep on listening to IGN. You ain't gonna never play no game." Like I don't like and that's again what we was talking about before we started the live stream. I don't care what the review is going to be. I don't care what people is going to say about it. If I want to purchase the game, I'm going to purchase it regardless. Purchase it and play it and like it. And they never going to stop me from doing so. Like if it's trash, then I waste the money. You know, that's how games was back in the day. Like when you play Super Nintendo Genesis, like you didn't have like demos and stuff like that. You either purchase it.
Yeah, you had to play that shit right away. You know?
Yeah. So guess what? I'm going to do that regardless. I don't care. Like I'm going to purchase these games. If I don't like it, screw it. You know, I'm gonna get
half the time you didn't buy them games. Your parents bought the game. They hoping you like it.
right. Like I remember when they like what game? Like when they like and again, I wish I could not have done that, but or it could not happen to me, but you know, they knew that I was into like, you know, reading and like Marvel and stuff like that. And they bought that Superman 64. I swear, looking back on that, I was mad because that game was god awful. Never again. But that's the thing of gaming, you know, it should be like that. Like you take your chances, you never know what's going to happen.
That's right.
Oh, as you play mostly fighting games. Oh, hey man, look, I play quite a few fighting games. I think like right now, let me see, because I got the PS4 open on the other screen right now. If you ever into it, like I got Fighter Z, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Tekken 7, Samurai Showdown, Injustice 2, MK11, Soul Calibur 6, Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, Storm 4, MK10, and Street Fighter 5.
Wow, he's got all the games, Azrael. You might have to challenge him one time.
Hey, look! I'm trying to get the boys back together to do Catch Them Hands Sundays, because usually on Sundays we just pick like 3 fighting games and we just go to town.
Oh wow! Dang.
Yeah, and honestly, like. Like when we get on like Tekken or Tekken or MK, that's when you're gonna see like the craziest things happen. Cause
Tekken is amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I hope it never dies.
I don't like Tekken is gonna always be one of the top tier fighting games. That and MK, just because like character lineup, you know, the fluid system that they have, the spies of Mr. Sega Man saying that Killer Instinct is better.
Let them clowns stick to arms.
That man child, like that's why that's Sega Man new nickname is man child. That's what I'm gonna call him.
I've been calling the dude Sega fraud. I've been calling him Richard Pryor. Steve Harvey.
You look like an overweight Steve Harvey.
Yeah, he's a fusion of Richard Pryor and Steve Harvey.
Man, like for some reason they didn't had a son. And they rejected him and sent him somewhere, and he trying to come out and telling people in so many words that
it's embarrassing to hear some of the stuff coming out of his mouth.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. So what's going to be the next game for you to stream before Ghost of Tsushima?
Before Ghost of Tsushima? Ooh, that's a good question, man. Like I've been playing Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. I don't know. That's more like a strategy game, and I know not everybody's into strategy games. But I've always liked the story because that's based on a novel. I forget the man's name. Like it's a long Chinese name, but it's basically like a story about old Chinese generals trying to take over the land. They're fighting each other and killing each other off, double crossing each other. And,
yeah.
You know, this is like back in what century? Like 2nd century AD or something like that. So it's a really long time ago. But they say the Romance of the Three Kingdoms time was one of the bloodiest conflicts in human history prior to World War II.
Right, because it was a lot of death. Like a lot of people laid out their lives for these kingdoms. like because it started off with everybody fighting for the Han, and then you had a few people who tried to go above the Han, which they got slain down. And then you had Cao Cao, Liu Bei, and you had
Sun Quan.
yeah, they pretty much branched off and did their own empires, which they was going to war constantly. You never know who's going to get the jump on who's going to double cross who. It was always like that, and yeah, it's crazy. I that's why I always liked it, even though it's been the same story. They just like with every game they improve with the details with it. So yeah,
Lu Bu, yeah, the strongest warrior in the land.
the dumbest though. Like I'm
Exactly.
sorry, dumbest. Like I love Boo for his strength, but he is the dumbest guy.
Oh man, that guy. Yeah, he unfortunately he's a simp too. He fell in love with Diao Chong. He just went crazy, man. Homie
Right.
went nuts. But she was hot though. I'll give her that. She was beautiful.
Man,
Woo.
that is crazy. I just can't believe because I was like, man, like, did that actually happen like that? And when I actually like read his like background story online, and I'm like, he was really that dumb. Like oh man. I think I made it like halfway through it because like towards the end of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, like I just didn't feel like reading it no more because it was just like me just like reading something that I always knew about due to the game. So
Yeah, by the time the Jin Dynasty came about, it was pretty much boring after that because they took over all of China like rather easily.
yeah, the Jin Dynasty, they went to work. Like they was like, okay, why the Sun clan done what they plague, why Shu is trying to fight for power and we took over Wei. Let's clean up.
Yep. Let's go. Let's clean house. Go into town. Get this Liu Shan idiot out of here. Make him my concubine. Not
Right.
concubine, slave, but and then we'll just take over Sun's kingdom because they're in disarray, total disarray.
Right. I know right now I'm still like besides me like streaming like Destiny a couple of times, I'm still about to finish Persona 5 Royale. I want to get started on this one series that I kind of like got into a while ago but stopped because of my Vita went down is Trails of the Cold Steel.
Mm.
They got 3 parts to the game that's out and the 4th part releases this year. So I literally got to run through 3 of them games before that comes out, in which it's going to be fun, but it's going to be like trolling because of that. But hey.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. And on the manga side of things, I've been meaning to do the No Guns Life manga because I read on the second, like after season 1 was over, like I read some of the chapters in there, and they got this new guy coming in that's like related to Mary, and he's a beast, man. This guy's very mysterious, but he's pretty strong. But I kind of wanted to look into those and try to review it when I get a chance.
Oh yeah, like I need to get caught up with Black Clover. I've been trying to find like when I upgraded my phone, I never got back to like the manga app, but I found it online, which was Manga Zone that I'd be using.
Right.
So I'm actually catching up with quite a few of them. Like I think I'm like 30 chapters off of One Piece. Hero Academia, I think I'm like 100 chapters behind that. Attack on Titan, I'm about 50. Black Clover is probably like maybe like 5 chapters off. Vinland Saga, I got like I got about 70 chapters with that.
Yeah, I got to get back to One Piece as well as Golden Kamuy. Like I've been following Golden Kamuy's manga quite a bit,
Okay.
and then Gangsta is still kind of in the limbo because of the author's sickness. Because I touched on that months ago. Like I don't know when the next chapter's coming out for that. For those that are wondering.
Oh yeah, Azrael. I finished Seven Deadly Sin manga too. Yeah. Like I think the manga overall was good. I just didn't like how they pieced up the ending. Like, cause it felt like they just just did extra chapters just to do extra chapters. I was ready for it to end when it was expected to end. So yeah. And another manga that ended, and I think y'all should probably check out, is Promise Neverland. Yo, that ending, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm just reading this, and I had to set my phone down, like, cause it was like so emotional. Like I had to set it down. It was like, Ash, don't cry.
Oh wow.
Like, cause it hits you so crazy, like. And then it's like once you start figuring out about the world and everything, oh man, I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody. I'm just gonna say, like, if you rather wait on the anime, that's good and all. But I'm telling you, when that ending comes up and you feel it, you're gonna know that, look, man, Ash the man wasn't being no pansy. He was telling the truth. Well,
Wow, that's crazy. Man,
yeah,
I think I'm missing out on a banger here with that one. Wow.
yeah, like I was like, I didn't like, because when you watch the first season of it, and I'm saying the first season was bad or anything, I just didn't think they can get into that detail and so many things is going on with that world. But once you do, you get hooked. I got hooked into Promise Neverland manga, and I was just sitting there reading it. Like every night before I go to sleep, I was reading like 10 chapters at a time until I got caught up. And luckily, I found the app before it actually ended because I caught up, and then the last chapter released, and I was like, yes, right on time. Man. It's just that like when it ended, I just started like my new job or whatever. So I just really didn't have any time to review it. So unfortunately.
Oh, I heard that. Well, I think we pretty much covered all bases with the game, man. Overall, like I said, we thoroughly enjoyed it gameplay wise. It's just like there were obviously some glaring, technical issues with the glitches and everything, and of course the story was all over the place. To be honest, we feel
Yeah.
like there could have been some things they could have did to like make it much more meaningful, much more enhanced, and it could have taken out a lot of unnecessary stuff. So that's
Yeah.
kind of our thoughts.
I totally agree with that. Like, I mean, and if I had to recommend it to y'all, like, yeah, like if you looking to like spend like a good like 20 to 30 hours with a game, yeah, pick it up. But I mean, if you feel like your time is more valuable than that, then wait for a sale to go on. It's nothing wrong with that. Like Sony always, like every week there's going to be a new deal. And the way that the controversy is with Last of Us, I could see it going on sale for like maybe like 49 or probably even $39. You never know.
Oh yeah, the way the game's selling right now, it's gonna be high price for a while. The way
Yeah,
it's going.
it'll probably be that for like a good month. But if you is a very patient person, you gonna catch that sale. You gonna catch it. Like I think like just recently, because me and a friend of mine, we be game sharing, and he just got Death Stranding for like, I forgot how much he paid for it, but he ended up getting that, and I'm like, "Ugh, when I'm gonna play this game?" I know Death Stranding was one of the talks.
Mm.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get Ghost of Tsushima because it's a sucker punch game. And
Oh
I
yeah.
am, and just like the name intended, and I don't mean to throw out puns here, but I am a sucker for sucker punch. I like their games. Like when they do Infamous, I think they have like the best like sideline like missions that keeps you engaged with the game instead of feeling like a chore.
Right.
So
Yep. I remember Infamous. Yep, I played that. Pretty
yeah,
good.
so I'm gonna be ready for it. And I mean, this time around, if you guys like the collab review, I mean, I personally will have no problem of doing another one with Ghost of Tsushima comes out.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, we can do it on Ash's channel if he wants. We could probably unless he doesn't know how to use StreamYard. It's pretty easy. Like I thought StreamYard was gonna be difficult, but it's pretty easy to set up. I
Oh
was
yeah,
surprised. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think about it. I mean, if anybody else get it day one and want to be a part of want to be part of it, I mean, they could just be more than just two people. It doesn't matter.
True that.
Yeah. But overall, yeah, I recommend it to others. A lot of like friends I know have it. That's on the PlayStation, and
a couple of like my boy Juan beat it. He was like, man, Ash to finish the story so we can talk about it. A lot of people do. What's going on, Killer J Gaming?
Oh yeah, what's happening, Killer J? Hasn't popped on my feed yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got like 2 feeds up. I got one directly from the YouTube, and I got the direct one like on the side of me.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
But anyway, I think that's gonna be it for the whole Last of Us 2 review. We certainly took a lot of meat and potatoes out of this. Hope everybody likes it. They're probably like, man, these guys talked about this for 90 minutes. Well, yeah, we did. I mean, we had a lot to say.
Right. Oh, yeah. It was pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's a lot because like the controversy over this was insane. Like,
Yeah.
especially when it came down to the reviews. Like, as soon as midnight hit, almost more than 8,000 reviews popped on Google, and I feel like that just wasn't fair.
Wow.
And they was all one reviews, and then YouTubers is like, see, people not lying. It's like that many people play the game already. Like, no,
Exactly. Yeah, that's insane.
like maybe a tech demo, but not no full game. Come on now.
True that.
So
Whew. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for us here. This is JJ Wilson, aka JJ Starwind, featuring Ashton Man for the Last of Us Part 2 review.
yo,
Hope y'all have a good one. Stay gaming. Stay safe from the COVID. Don't get infected.
wash your hands. Like I went to work today. 2 people walked out the bathroom without washing their hands. Please.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, I was sick. Oh, and Junior says bye bye too.
All right, see you later, Ash Jr.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see you out there, man. But anyway, that's it from here, guys. Hope you all take care. And until next time.
All right.